Hey, welcome to EdTalks. I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Andy D. Andy, welcome to EdTalks.
Pleasure. It's an honor to be here, Ed.
Uh, I,
You've done this so much. This is so good. I'm really privileged and honored to be here.
well, it goes back to you. You're like one of my informal mentors. I follow you a lot. We'll talk a little bit about that. And I've never really had that I can think about a chief marketing officer type person on. So that's why I wanted to have you. And not only that, but you're a foodie. Like you write this guide on foods. Like it's amazing. Like you're such a well-rounded person, like super technical, super marketing, super personable, and you're also like a foodie, and you probably play instruments. So you probably do something else that I don't know about.
I,
I
I
knew you.
do I do DJ. I'm a Bollywood DJ for my friends and family in Dallas, and I DJ'd the New Year's Eve party. So yeah, that's the fun part that I indulge in.
And I know also you're a very spiritual person, which I
Yes,
can
I am.
appreciate as well. So yeah, you're this well rounded individual. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know I just told everyone about you, but tell us anything more that you want to share.
Thank you. I'm a product manager turned product marketer turned chief marketing officer who's worked at very large enterprise software companies like SAP and GE Healthcare. I lost my mother at the untimely age of 59, which really brought me into healthcare because the epiphany was we are all patients from birth to death. And wouldn't it be amazing if we could deploy technology to ensure that people can lead a higher quality of life? I've grown the healthcare and life sciences businesses at companies, fast growth companies like Tableau and Alteryx. And recently, I've been the chief marketing officer at MedeAnalytics, Verato, and Lightbeam Health, squarely focused on various areas across the healthcare spectrum, from revenue cycle management to population health management to supply chain management.
Yeah, I was the benefactor of a lot of your wisdom when I was a young CIO at Texas Health Resources, and it was the mobile age and the early beginnings of digital age. And you came in and you helped me develop, which was an industry leading, digital strategy, mobile strategy at the time, and couldn't have done that without you. And since then, I've been following you, especially with AI. And you're a prolific writer, so I'll definitely put your LinkedIn in the show notes. People should follow you, and you have such great insights. So you're not only a marketing person like we talked about, but a product person, but also you know what's going on in industry. It's not, you don't read about it, you do it, you live it. If there's one thing, Andy, that you would share with my audience, like when it comes to AI, what's one thing, what's one word of encouragement or an idea that you might have for the typical average listener?
Absolutely. So I think the first thing is we are literally at a cusp. We are moving from generative AI and LLMs, which is the chat GPTs, and you're having it write blog posts for you, to real business process automation with agentic AI and AI agents. So, everything from care transitions or enrolling patients, for instance, or prior authorization can now be done in an automated way with AI agents, including, for instance, personalizing email at scale. And the second thing I'll add is this has far more potential in healthcare versus other industries, because the fundamental difference is healthcare is supply constrained. You don't have as many doctors and nurses and technicians as we need to take care of patients, unlike every other industry that is demand constrained. So there's an oversupply. So healthcare is in that situation where physicians, doctors, nurses are suffering from fatigue. They have way too much to do. So deploying AI agents to automate a lot of the things they're doing, like a care manager enrolling patients, is a huge efficiency and productivity driver, and it also improves the morale and quality of life for these caregivers.
Yeah, super insightful, and I agree with you. What about from the perspective of a chief marketing officer? So, like I mentioned, I don't have many that are on Ed Talks. I should have more. But what is some insights that you might give? And I know this is a very generic sort of open question, so I'll let you take it the answer any way you want to go. Give us a little bit of a view into the world of a chief marketing officer.
Absolutely. So with marketing, what is happening across, right, is always this CEO pressure to do more with less. The second aspect is marketing is not known to be very good at articulating or, delivering return on investment. I actually call it return on marketing investment. So if you look at those two axes, there's this huge pressure to do more with less and also deliver value and ROI, which marketing is kind of notorious for. So AI agents, AI automation comes in really handy. I'll give you a real world example. I wanted a competitive intelligence analyst who, they They charge you approximately $120,000 to $150,000 a year. I was told by the CEO we don't have that kind of money. So instead of $120,000 to $150,000 analyst, I hired an AI agent called Completely.ai for $150 a year. That's, I mean, it is mind blowing, but also scary, right? On the other hand, you have that level of efficiency and productivity, but it is also going to impact the jobs of real people across the board, across multiple industry. Customer service is a great example. Coding, right? I mean, you listen to Dario Amodei from Anthropic, and he's talking about 50 to 60% of the coding jobs being rendered, commoditized, and displaced by next year. So in a very interesting arena where obviously there's a huge potential for folks like you and me and CXOs to improve, almost deploy AI agents as assistants. But there is also the very real consternation around a lot of scripted jobs which can be done on a computer being displaced by AI. So very
Yeah.
interesting times.
Yeah. That's what makes you so unique, Andy. That's why I always enjoy our times together, is because you have this deep insights into operations, into healthcare, and the marketing aspects and the product aspects. AI, for sure, you could go so many directions, but you're three or four people wrapped up into one. So I just always amazed, like,
Thank you.
whenever I listen to you. All right. So my final question is, what's your favorite food?
Yeah, that's a great question. As a diehard foodie, I love sushi and sashimi from Japan. I love Middle Eastern food. Across Israel, Lebanon, the Middle East. I love Pan Asian food from Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia. But of course, having grown up in India, good goat biryani is always comfort food that I can come back to.
That's funny because that's Simran's favorite dish as well.
Yes, it is.
So that's very cool. Well, I can't wait to break bread again with you and your family. And thank you for being a guest on EdTalks.
Thank you. It has been an honor and a privilege, and I truly appreciate it. God bless you. I hope to run into you at HIMSS next week.